Hello and welcome to Monday's programme. We are live with the news in the Northwest.
Hello, here's what's on the programme this evening.
It's been dubbed Sports Trial of the Century. Manchester City's tussle with the Premier League is underway. We are live with the latest.
Alex's dying wish was to be reunited with her family in her homeland. And Granada reports viewers helped make that happen.
That is something that myself will forever be grateful for, like the kindness of people that don't even know her or have never met her, and it really meant the world to us that we were able to get home for her final days.
Mary's very special reason to complete the Three Peaks Challenge.
Blossoms tell us why they're going back to the venues that set them on the road to stardom.
It was a foggy start here in the northwest this morning. A bit more of that to come over the next couple of nights. I'll have all the details later on in the programme.
Well, we start with what's being described as Sports Trial of the Century. Manchester City's long-awaited hearing into 115 alleged financial breaches.
Well, City's financial affairs have come under regular scrutiny since their takeover by Sheikh Mansour's Abu Dhabi United Group in 2008.
In 2020, they were banned from European competition after being found guilty of breaking UEFA's financial fair play rules, but successfully challenged that ruling at the Court of Arbitration for Sport.
The current allegations were made by the Premier League in February 2023. The charges, which City strongly deny, cover a 14-year period from 2009 to 2023.
The alleged breaches concern the failure of reporting accurate financial information, breaking Premier League and UEFA financial rules, and not cooperating with the Premier League investigation.
The case will be heard by an independent commission at London's International Dispute Resolution Centre and could take 10 weeks to complete, with a verdict not announced until 2025.
Here's our sports correspondent, David Chisnell.
It's the Premier League against the Premier League champions in an unprecedented hearing that could define the future of football in this country and reset its past. Since being taken over by Sheikh Mansour's Abu Dhabi United Group in 2008, Manchester City have gone on to enjoy domestic dominance like no other team in the history of the English game. But hanging over the club is the question of whether the foundation of that success was built on rule breaking. Now, after years of investigating, a hearing into 115 alleged breaches of Premier League rules between 2009 and 2023 has got underway.
Well, the charges are artificially inflating income, hiding costs and not cooperating with the Premier League. As far as the overall impact is concerned, if found guilty, I think we're looking at a huge points deduction, which would potentially make City relegated at the end of this season, and therefore that would have implications in terms of those star players that they currently have who presumably won't want to be playing in the Championship next season.
Would have to be involved. It would be the biggest crime of the 20th century almost. It's just, it feels laughable, but there's a process and they want to take us through it.
I don't think we've done anything wrong. Obviously I know it is going to court, we've got 115 charges, but I don't think we'll get charged with anything.
When you're a City fan, it's in your blood, so it doesn't matter. They can charge us as much as they want and they can expel us or do whatever they want, and we'll still be here week in, week out.
Everton suffered a 10-point deduction that was reduced to 6 on appeal for one breach of Premier League financial fair play rules. And there are estimates of up to a 100-point deduction for City if found guilty of all their charges.
Get what they deserve, like Everton. If they're found guilty, then it's their own fault.
They should get relegated. I think that's what should happen to them, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, this hearing may be the start to the end of this saga, but the final whistle is still a long way off being blown.
Well, David is at the Etihad for us this evening. And David, what more do we know about the hearing?
Well, it's a hearing that's being held in private, but what we do know is that it's being held down in London at the rather catchily titled International Dispute Resolution Centre. And what we've seen today is that leading City's defence is one of the top lawyers in this country, and that is Lord Panic KC. Now, in the past, he's represented the likes of former Prime Minister Boris Johnson. In 2020, in fact, he actually helped City appeal their 2-year ban by UEFA. He's a bit of a hero up here among City fans who unveiled a banner at a home game last season saying causing panic on the streets of London. That was just after City had been hit with those 115 charges. Of course, it is a play on the Smith song, also a bit of a dig at the Premier League. Well, whatever the outcome from this hearing, it's going to be watched closely both within and with outside of the game, with the government also looking to push ahead and introduce a new independent football regulator. There is a huge amount at stake, both on and off the pitch, in the coming weeks and months ahead.
David, outside the Etihad for us this evening. Thank you.
Well, next tonight, and you may remember at the end of last month, we told you about Alex Cacho, the Lancaster University graduate whose final wish was to go home to Peru before she died.
Yes, Alex had been diagnosed with terminal cancer. Thanks to the kindness of strangers, more than £150,000 was donated for her flight home after we featured her story.
Well, Alex's boyfriend Dylan posted on social media at the weekend to say that Alex had died with her loved ones by her side. She was just 21.
One of her friends, Mel Kelly, came into our studio a little earlier today.
It's very raw. We can't really believe it, to be honest, even though we knew it was coming, and that's why she was going back to Peru to be with her family. It's a lot to take in, and I think more than anything, updating people tonight, they'll be glad to know that she got home and she managed to have that time with her family that she wanted, and she was very well deserved as well.
Well, she did get nearly 2 weeks, didn't she, with her family? Yeah. And it's not a long time. It's not a long time at all. But what did it mean, do you think, to Alex and to her family in Peru to have that time together?
I mean, we seen it on her face when she was at the airport, and she looked absolutely over the moon, and just to know that she was on her way home, you could just see on her face how much it meant to her, and probably to everyone else back home as well.
There was a huge response, one of the biggest responses we've ever had to a report on this show when we first aired Alex's fundraising appeal. What do you think it was about her that captured the hearts of so many people that they wanted to help her get back?
I think it's a bit of a tricky one really to describe that. I think at one point it's a young person who's had a cancer diagnosis and has just been told she's terminal, and her family don't live here, and when you're at that place, all you want to do is be surrounded by your family and loved ones. And I think more than anything, Alex wanted to raise awareness of that and tell people that young people do get cancer and it's not a taboo and it should be spoken about more. And she really wanted to raise the profile of cancer and awareness for young people, and she's definitely done that 100%.
What would you like to say to those people that are watching tonight who've been so invested in Alex's story and in that huge effort to get her home?
I think that is something that myself will forever be grateful for, like the kindness of people that don't even know her or have never met her, and it really meant the world to us that we were able to get her home for her final days. And yeah, I think she couldn't believe it herself, but she was really appreciative of everyone's support. Yeah.
Do you think Alex was surprised by how much money was raised and how quickly?
At one point, as soon as that aired on the Wednesday night, we had £10,000 within 10 minutes, and it was just unbelievable. And I was refreshing it all night and talking to my friends about it, and it was just crazy to see the amount of support that happened so quickly.
How will you remember Alex?
How will I remember Alex? I'll remember her with a smile. She was a really close friend of mine, and I want to keep that memory alive and fundraise and do as much as I can, and yeah, just remember her as I knew her and not as a cancer patient as some people would see her. At the end of the day, she was still a human, and she was still my friend, and she was a great one at that. So yeah, thank you very much for allowing us to share her story.
Mel, thank you for coming to talk to us. I know this is such a difficult time for you guys and all of Alex's friends. We're really grateful that you came in to speak to us today. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks to Mel for coming in. She's actually, I'm sure, Alex, one of the bravest young people I've ever met. Thoughts with her family tonight. To politics now, and what's traditionally the party conference season, with Parliament not sitting.
Tonight we put the spotlights on the Liberal Democrats who've been celebrating their election performance in the North West.
Yeah, but can they push on from that? Our political correspondent Leisha McNally reports now from Brighton.
Sir Ed Davey says he's ready to make waves in Westminster. After a record-breaking election for the Liberal Democrats, he's in Brighton for his party conference, celebrating with his new MPs.
This is brilliant. Just sat in a cafe down the road and just clocking the amount of MPs that are walking past me. This is just the product of a fantastic election result, and everyone's buzzing. You can tell everyone's really buzzing about it.
It was an election campaign that was buzzing too, from pottery in Hazel Grove to Jenga in Cheadle. But Tom Morrison thinks his leader's stunts can help the party net more wins in the North West.
Use that platform to talk about serious issues. When the paddling board talked about, the sewage crisis that was happening in our rivers. I would like to see Ed carry on with that fun, because it did resonate and people really liked it.
But where could their next win come from? They booted the Conservatives out of 2 seats in Stockport, but most of the Red Wall is Labour again. And without the Lib Dems' traditional Tory targets, has the party peaked in the North West?
Not at all. So I'm really pleased that we've got new, fresh voices, stronger voices across the North West.
Just 2 fresh voices, though. Compare that to the 20 in the South West, which has similar population size. Something's not quite cutting through, is it? What more do you have to do?
Well, I think we are beginning to cut through more. Do I want it to be greater? Yes, I do, and I think it will be. I mean, we've got a great result in Burnley, for example. And I think what you'll see over this Parliament is in local council elections, in the big cities and in the towns, you'll see across the North West Liberal Democrats coming back and building up and being even stronger across the North West.
Being realistic, you said rejoining the EU is still one of your party's long-term targets. Reform came second in more than half of seats in the North West. You're never going to win those voters over, are you?
I think what we saw, and we've seen it for a number of years now, is people have lost trust in politics. And we suffered from that too. We've been steadily building that back up. We've won some of that trust back. And now the key thing is to repay the voters by showing you're taking their concerns seriously.
In newly Lib Dem Cheadle, it was local personalities that swayed many here.
We got loads of information through the post about what he was doing, his policies. Lib Dems had a slightly more environmental policy that I was more in favour of.
I like the guy who was who was the Lib Dem candidate at the time, and that is no other reason.
I voted Labour, but yeah, I think everything seems to be doing okay. I'm hoping they'll get some of the shops filled for us as well, but yeah, so far so good.
I think they're all the same, to be honest. Whoever gets in is just going to do the same thing, so that's why I didn't vote anyone.
It's these voices the Lib Dems will have to win over next. They've pitched themselves as the constructive opposition in Parliament, now looking to hammer home that message beyond their southern heartlands. Leisha McNally, ITV News, Brighton.
Yeah, I sense still a bit of convincing to do here in the North
I
West.
think that little girl was more interested in our crisps, wasn't she?
Yum, yum, yum. Now it's time to meet the first of our Pride of Britain Regional Fundraiser of the Year finalists.
Yeah, Mary Lamb from Wirral has a degenerative muscle condition and says her assistance dog Sheldon has helped her get her life back.
Sheldon came to Mary through Charity Dogs for Good, and on her 65th birthday, Mary wanted to give back, as Zoe Muldoon reports.
Good boy. Well done. Thank you, sweetheart.
Mary and Sheldon are inseparable, but their relationship is much more than owner and pet. Sheldon is an assistance dog, and Mary couldn't imagine life without him.
Good boy. This dog means the world, don't you? You are my world. We do absolutely everything together. We're never apart.
Mary has a rare muscle disorder and has been a wheelchair user for 17 years. She struggles to walk and pick things up. She applied for an assistance dog from Charity Dogs for Good, who over the years have given her 4 lovable helpers that make every day so much easier. Sheldon helps with the housework, assists Mary in her chair, and even picks up the shopping.
I can talk forever about these dogs and what they do and how they change your life and give you a new life. And when you think everything's over and finished, it isn't. It's just all out there to go and get.
It's that new lease of life that's inspired Mary to take on some fundraising challenges in aid of Dogs for Good that she never thought possible. But on her 65th birthday, Mary took on the most brutal yet, the 3 Peaks Challenge. 3 mountains in 3 gruelling days saw Mary battle a chest infection and a stomach bug.
Yes, there was a few tears, but I was trying to keep the whole team going because I was the person they were doing it for. So it was up to me to keep them going. I said it was like a moonscape. I've never been to the moon, but that's what I imagine. It was just slate and huge boulders. I mean, huge boulders.
With help from the army, her husband Mike, and of course Sheldon, she did it, becoming the first woman in a wheelchair to conquer all 3 peaks.
You and the guys were all singing Proud Mary.
They were going up and keep on rolling. It was so funny. That's our song now. I was just crying my eyes out, and it was amazing. And the total had gone up, and it hasn't gone as far as I wanted, but something else will come along.
It's not just the money that she goes and raises, which is fantastic. It's also the publicity and the noise that she creates around, frankly, a bit of a crazy challenge like this, and the fact that we're able to publicise more what we do.
Mary's raised nearly £14,000, but she wants to raise even more to sponsor 4-month-old Pensby, who will go on to change someone else's life.
They just help you do everything. You don't have to stay at home and do nothing. They're there to get you out, to get you to do things. So, I mean, life
It's a new lease of life, isn't it?
Yeah, life is worth living with a dog. I tell you, they are just amazing. Love them, love them.
How does it feel being nominated for a Pride of Britain award?
Fundraising? Oh, I never dreamed of it. So it is such a surprise, and I'm absolutely blown away.
What would it mean to you to win?
It just show people you don't have to stop and do nothing. Just get out and do something, because life is short. It is so, so short, and you've got to make the most of every single day.
Oh, great stuff. Time for sport now, and Liverpool are heading for Milan. Mike.
Yeah, that's right. Big week for Liverpool and their new manager. The 6-time European champions are en route to Italy this evening, ready for their Champions League return. After a year away, they are back on the big stage and will face AC Milan tomorrow. They held a training session on Merseyside this afternoon.
A big setback. So if you lose a home game.
Into the championship, and Japanese striker Yuki Ohashi scored twice in Blackburn Rovers' 3-0 win against Bristol City. They sit third in the table, 1 place above Burnley, who were 1-0 winners away at Leeds United. Other North West winners over the weekend included Blackpool, a perfect start for new boss Steve Bruce. James Husband's stoppage time goal secured a 2-1 win for them against Exeter. A double from Joe Hugill helped Wigan Athletic to a comfortable 4-0 victory away at Bristol Rovers. While in League Two, Crewe Alexandra were 1-0 winners at Accrington Stanley. Elsewhere, Fleetwood Town also won on their travels by 3-2 at Carlisle United. And Barrow made it 4 wins in 6 games, courtesy of a 2-1 result at Grimsby. And Salford City won by the same scoreline at home to Cheltenham Town.
Getting that winning feeling. FOW, sponsors of the Granada Sport Report.
Finally, to another big moment in the career of teenage darts star Luke Littler. The 17-year-old from Warrington beat St Helens rival Michael Smith to win the World Series of Darts finals in Amsterdam. On his debut in the competition, he won the final by 11 legs to 4, and he pocketed a cool £80,000 in prize money too. Not bad at 17.
£80,000 in prize money.
It's like we've got to keep reminding ourselves that he's only 17 years old.
There's no stopping him, is there? It's just
It's
phenomenal.
not a year yet since he came into the public eye with the World Championships in January. It's insane what he's doing in the sport.
And no plans whatsoever of retiring anytime soon, right?
No, I don't think so. No, I'm just trying to think. I don't think I had 80 quid when I was 17.
Right.
Never mind 80,000.
We all
Cheers,
need
Mike.
to take up darts, don't we? Thank you, Michael.
Finally, the Stockport band Blossoms have been together for more than a decade and they've had their fair share of hits.
Yeah, today they have had a huge announcement, and after what happened when they last played in Wythenshawe last month, they're getting pretty good at big announcements.
Yeah, the announcement, of course, was Oasis reforming next year. It was teased at the gig, and today Blossoms are announcing 5 special dates of their own in Manchester in November.
Here's our entertainment correspondent, Caroline Whitmore.
We are here with 2/5 of Blossoms. When you go to Stockport, you have a big sign saying "Welcome to Stockport."
Well,
obviously, Blossoms
it's
welcomes
changed
you.
at the moment. That
why?
It says we've got to change to home of Gary.
For your new album.
Our 5th album. It's called Gary. Just over 10 years into the band, and yeah, we feel like closer than ever, and it feels like our best record.
The video is genius.
I heard this news article come on saying this fiberglass gorilla's been stolen from a garden centre in Carluke, Scotland, and his name's Gary, and it pricked my ears up.
So when you
Gary.
heard the story, Joe, were you all for this? Were you
Yeah,
like...
no, 100%. And when you get in a room and you sort of jam the tune for the first time, it just clicks sometimes, and you just know.
We knew we wanted to like recreate the story in the video, so I rang Rick and he was like, "Yeah, I'm actually in Manchester next week. Let's do it." So took him to Brookside Garden Centre, got him on the miniature railway. People were like, "Is that Rick Astley on the miniature railway?" And we were like, "Yes, it is." It's that mix of like art and having a laugh.
Massive announcement. You've got 5 iconic gigs in November, haven't you? Tell us about that.
Yeah, in Manchester, we kind of, obviously we did Wythenshawe Park a few months ago.
Which was probably our best gig.
Yeah, like our
we've ever
best
done,
ever gig. We want to do something different with it, basically. That's why we've done kind of...
a tour of Manchester.
Well, it's like the venues we played on the way up, in a way.
Yeah.
The Ritz, the Albert Hall, Academy, Victoria Warehouse and the Apollo. So I think it was just a different way of approaching doing some shows in Manchester.
You need to talk to me about Wythenshawe Park, though, because there was a teaser announcement about, obviously we now know was Oasis, this huge gig. Yeah. When do you find out that that is going to happen at your gig at Wythenshawe Park?
Literally, like Joseph, 4 hours before we're going on,
you got a call,
got a call saying, "We need to show a clip after your gig. I can't tell you what it is." We finished our set and ran round to the barrier, because at this point we didn't know what it was. We kind of knew.
Are you joking? So you ran round to see what the announcement was? I love that.
And had a look, and then we kind of just missed the end of it, but by that point everyone was like, it was the font, it was the Oasis font.
Yeah.
So then obviously it turns out that they were teasing the gig announcements, which came a few days later. Even just to be a part of that was like, now
huge.
It's exciting.
Now I'm a complete dinosaur. But you two were one when Definitely Maybe, their debut album, was released. You really have grown up listening to their music.
My mum was at Main Road and seeing them there in like 1996.
And on another note, your hair is so shiny. His wife's a hairdresser, isn't she?
That's my sister.
And she's of course. So what do you put on your hair? How is it so shiny?
Whoa, can't say that.
Come on.
Do you know what I mean? No, that's a secret.
Is it egg yolk?
That's the secret Tom's
Is it
going to
egg yolk?
take.
Yeah.
To
No,
the
it's
grave.
special shampoo.
Special shampoo. Well,
Make
Kate's
sure
a
you've got to shampoo
genius.
twice, haven't you? Shampoo twice.
Condition
What? Right, everybody, shampoo twice.
Yeah, shampoo
Conditioner
twice.
once.
Conditioner, make sure you get it right through the end, because otherwise you get frizzy ends.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And don't do it every day.
No, you shouldn't wash your hair every day.
No, I don't anyway. I haven't got time for that.
Yeah, no, who does?
Exactly. Well, listen, good luck with Gary.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Even that makes me laugh.
Look, so lovely to see you. Most
so much. Thanks for
laid
having
back
us.
people in showbiz. Love it.
Cheers.
You see, it's always an education here on Granada Reports.
It's always an education. Egg yolk in your hair.
Carol was
Who knew?
asking the question that everybody wanted answered, like, what do you put in your hair? And, like, Tom's hair's amazing.
She gets to the heart of it, our Cal.
Doesn't she just?
She does. Here's Joe with the weather.
Mum, wet wipes, toilet or bin?
Bin. Why?
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
Thank you. A very good evening to you. High pressure building in for this week. And although it was a foggy start across the northwest this morning, it's cheered up nicely this afternoon and into this evening, staying dry and fine. And over the next few days, more of the same. Plenty of warm spells of sunshine as we head through the rest of the working week, with a bit of a breakdown by this weekend. High pressure then dominating the UK's weather, feeding in some nice warm air across the country as we go through the next few days. So temperatures will be well above average for the time of year, and lots of sunshine associated with this high. Back to this evening. Clear spells for many of us and a dry night to come, with occasional mist and fog patches, but it's not going to be as thick as it was this morning. And temperature-wise tonight, rurally perhaps dipping to around 6 or 7 degrees, but we're free from frost and in general a pleasant start to the day and dry across the board to start Tuesday. On to tomorrow. First of all, the sun will be up at 6:49 and it'll be setting at 7:20. Any mistiness lifts very quickly tomorrow morning. Skies will brighten. And it's set to be another cracking day. Plenty of sunshine for the northwest of England and the Isle of Man. Very light winds, and temperatures have the scope to get to around 19 or 20 Celsius tomorrow, and that's going to feel very pleasant as we head through the afternoon and into tomorrow evening. More fine weather ahead. Looking ahead, and with high pressure firmly in the driving seat, Wednesday and Thursday will be decent days with variable cloud and a maximum temperature of 20 degrees. Friday at the moment offering lots of sunshine, but there's signs of things breaking down later on, and into the weekend it will turn more unsettled. Bye-bye.
Cleaned up well.
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
So is egg yolk really a thing?
Apparently it's a thing. I've never tried it.
Okay.
I bet Joe Blythe uses it because her hair always looks amazing, doesn't
Always.
it? Always.
Bye-bye.
Gorgeous. Good night.